Hello, and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears, Friday edition. All right, so welcome back, all you loyal listeners and watchers. I appreciate it. It's Friday. The Bears are playing Cleveland. And on Sunday in Cleveland. So let's get talking a little bit about the what's going to happen. So first of all, I want to start out first telling a pretty cool story about last week. We're going to do that first, and then we're going to get into the Cleveland game. So last week, if you watched the game or if you know anything about the game, Roquan Smith, one of our linebackers, number 58, caught an interception and ran it back for a touchdown. Rock on, baby. We need a lot more of those. We need some of those this week, I may add. And it was the first time that he's done that in his NFL career. The last time he's caught a ball to run it back for had an interception to run it back for a touchdown was in high school. So he hasn't had one in his college or NFL career to this point. So when he did the touchdown, he was so excited. Him and this fan locked eyes in the stand, and he just tossed it to the guy. He goes, I wasn't really thinking, It was just the moment. Everybody was excited. And then he was interviewed the next day, and he said, this is the first time I've done it since I was in high school, And the guy said, do you wish you had the ball back? And he said, yeah, kind of. But you know what? And this is really cool. Smith said, but it's probably really making this fan's year, whatever, to get a ball that was, an interception for a touchdown. And he's like, so that's okay. That, I've got enough stuff, I'll be all right. I've got, what he said, I have the jersey. I'll have the jersey from that day, and that'll be a keeper for me. So the fan heard about this and reached out to the Bears. And on Tuesday, he went to Hallis Hall, and he returned the ball to Roquan Smith, which is really cool. And believe me, they made it up for him. He got a signed jersey. He got a game ball from that game. And he got gloves. So I would take all of those over that ball because, you can go around telling people, yeah, this is the ball, blah, 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 whether they believe you or not, right? But now you've got a game ball. You got another game ball. That if you want to make up the story that you never gave it back to him, that game ball could be it. Me bad. But he got the jersey, a signed jersey, which to me is really cool because Roquan is going to be around for a while if the Bears are smart. Well, pace, there's a little, but he's going to be around for a while. And linebackers, we love our linebackers in this in Chicago and Bears history. We love our linebackers, and Roquan's he gets better every year, and this year he's going to be better. So I thought that was a pretty cool story that the fan did that. He heard it, and he returned it to him. So that's a pretty cool thing. So right on to the fan, and right on to Roquan Smith for giving him all that stuff. So that's a cool story. So let's talk about the Bears in Cleveland. So the Bears and Cleveland have played 16 times, and I was looking this up, and they said it was it's kind of funny that they've only played 16 times considering how long both of these teams have been in the league, and Cleveland is up 9-7 and this dates back to 1951 when they played the first game. And so they have 9 wins, we have 7 wins, and the Browns have won the last 5 out of 6 meetings between the two squads. So we got to do something about that, if you ask me. We got to change that, don't you guys think? So let's hope that Sunday we turn that around. Okay, things to know about the Browns before the game. The Browns are tied for second place for the most turnovers in the NFL right now. So it's like, okay, so we got to make sure that we don't do any turnovers. And they said that Baker Mayfield, their quarterback, who is in his fourth year, I think. I really like this guy. I love his commercials. They're so funny. But they said he's been pretty flawless with his accuracy the last 2 weeks. And that worries me a little bit. So our defense, meaning if this guy is spot on, our defense has to be spot on as well because he's good. And like I say, it's his fourth, maybe fifth year, but I'm not sure. But he's getting better each year. And the thing about Baker Mayfield is he's got talent now. When he first came to the Browns, there was not a lot of talent. And as we all know, they did a rebuild and they're looking good. And I'll be honest with you, as long as the Browns aren't playing the Bears and they're not playing them in the playoffs or something like that, I'd like to see the Browns go a little far this year because Cleveland has suffered like Chicago. The teams have been around forever and they really haven't done that much. I forgot to look up how many Super Bowls they won, but it don't matter. Because let's face it, Cleveland was there, then it was gone, and now it's back again. So that's a good thing. So you know what? After this Sunday, good luck to them. But I want the Bears to win Sunday. So Baker Mayfield, so we know Baker Mayfield is on his game this year. So that's something the Bears have to. And the Browns defense is ranked 11th after week 2, which is way better than ours. So I think ours was ranked, I don't think I wrote that down, but ours was ranked, I want to say, in the 20s, like 23rd or 24th. So, because we had that first bad game. So, our defense has got to improve. So the Browns overall rank 6th right now. So the Browns are good. Their offensive passing ranks at number 14th. Their offensive rushing is 3rd in the league. So that is huge. And their offensive points scored is 6th in the league. They've been scoring about 30 points a game. So, oh boy. And then their defense they're 11th in the league, and they have given up 27 points a game. So, their defense is good, but it seems like they give up some points. So let's hope the Bears take advantage of that. But the Bears defense is going to have to be on their game because I just read that stuff to you, and Cleveland is good. They are very, very good. So, let's see what the Bears. So the Bears' offensive passing is 31st in the league. Okay. The Bears' rushing is 8th in the league. So we're somewhat close. They're 3rd. We're 8th. That's about the only thing that that is close. Although, wait, I'll read one more thing. They have. So they've scored 30 points average a game, so they're 6th in the league on that. The Bears are 28th in the league. They were scoring an average of 17 points a game. The Bears defense, now this is where we're very close. The Bears defense for points allowed against the Bears, they're 13th. So, and the defense for Cleveland is 11. So we're right there as far as points. Even though the Bears defense is not that good, they weren't that good in areas. They made up for it last week. So that's why the numbers are a little bit better. And and I forgot this, our offensive points scored were 28th. So 31st for passing yards, 28th for scored offensive scoring. That's not good because they're way better in those aspects both for us. So we have to improve offensively this Sunday. So the injuries for what I could see, now this is as of showtime, the Bears haven't released their injury list yet, so they don't come out till later, but Cleveland has. and they have Jarvis Landry is on the IR, so he's not playing, and Odell Beckham has not played, but they say he will start on Sunday. So good and bad. We got rid of Landry, but now we got Odell Beckham. I was really hoping he wasn't going to play this week, so we'd have a better shot, but not going to happen. But he is also coming off an injury, so we don't know how much he'll play. Will he play every snap? Will they have him on a count of how many plays he can play, how many snaps he can take? So we'll see. So, again, the defense is going to have to be on their game because we all know Beckham can frickin' catch anything. And if Mayfield has been on his games this season so far, they're going to be a scary duo. So we'll see what happens there. So, and there was a few other questionable people on Cleveland, but it's not worthy of mentioning. But the Bears' injuries, as you know, obviously Andy Dalton is out. And then our safety, number 38, Gipson Sr, is questionable. He did not. He practiced very limitedly on yesterday. So I'm concerned about that because we really need Gipson in the game. Our safeties are important. Between our cornerbacks and our safeties, if you've got Odell Beckham in there and you've got Mayfield who is just, passing all over the place, we need Gipson in there. So I'm really hoping that questionable turns into probable. Our other one that we've been waiting desperately for is number 91, Eddie Goldman, our defensive lineman. He did practice this week, but limited. So let's hope he will be in. Let's pray that he's going to suck it up because he's a good guy. If he gets in and he can play, that would be a good thing. That would be really, really helpful for the run, and maybe getting after Odell Mayfield, because we got to get after him. We have got to rush this guy as much as we can. We got to make him feel as uncomfortable as possible because he will make a mistake if you rush him too much. So let's get at him. Also 96. Hicks, one of my favorites, another D lineman, did not practice this week. He had an illness, and then he's got a sore knee. So he's questionable at best, and that just sucks. Because when Hicks isn't in, teams can run all over the Bears. It's just a proven fact. So we really, really need Hicks in, and we could really use Goldman in. If we get those two back in, but the Hicks one worries me, we'd have a much better chance. And then our wide receiver, number 11, Mr. Mooney, as I like to call him. And only people who are old, like me, know who I'm naming him after from a TV show. He did limited practicing this week, too, with a sore groin. So let's hope he plays. He's another one. We need him in there. You see, he's starting to really catch some passes, and I'd like to see him and Fields start to build a rapport, right? Of course, we have Andy Robinson, who was good, so let's hope that he's our number one, Mooney's our number two. In my opinion, by the end of the season, if they can continue to pass, if the line holds up for them, these quarterbacks, Fields, Dalton, whatever, I think Mr. Mooney's going to be our number one receiver because I think he has all the tools. This is his second year. They just need to target him and throw to him. So let's hope that he plays too because we really want him. All right. So we need everyone on the field healthy this week. We know that because the Browns are good. And the Browns have a very solid offense and a solid defense. So they said the defense has started out a little slow, but in the numbers I gave you, doesn't show so much. The only one thing is they do give up a lot of points, it seems like. So let's take advantage of it. The Bears have to play better than they played. The Bears defense has to play better than they played last week, which was 100% better than the first week, but they got to be better this week because they're playing a much better team. We played Cincinnati last week. Cincinnati is like the Bears, They're good one week, bad one week. They got some work to do. They're still building, and that's kind of the Bears. So the defense has to really show up again. So here's some things. Let's talk about. So the Bears, the Bears have to be, when they're on the field, the Bears defense, they have to be on their toes. The defensive line has to get after Baker Mayfield and has to stop the run because the Browns can run. Last week, I had mentioned that one of the players that really stood out to me on the defense was 94, Robert Quinn, defensive lineman. All of a sudden, you saw him. He's defensive line. He's at the end. He's an outside lineman. Where you could use him as a linebacker or a defensive lineman. So he was all over the place last week. Got a sack. You saw him, and I liked it. So I'm hoping that we will see Quinn. This is our third year, and he's getting paid a lot of money, and he hasn't showed up to play, in my opinion. But I'm hoping with the new defensive coordinator, Sean D. Say, that he will... that Sean's going to get him more opportunities. His schemes will be more to Quinn's liking. Now, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but Sean, when Vic Fangio was our defensive coordinator here in Chicago before he went to become the head coach in Denver, Sean played under Fangio, was a D coordinator under Fangio, so he learned a lot. So it's just a matter of time. I'm hoping that this guy gets the defense going to what he wants, and maybe he can get Quinn to actually play better and earn his paycheck for once, because, that's one of the reasons we had to get rid of Fuller last year. We couldn't afford to pay him because we're paying Quinn. Had we not been paying Quinn all that money, Fuller would still be on the team, and that was a stupid mistake by Pace. He got an older dude, and he paid him too much money. So that's just my opinion. So let's hope that Quinn 94 is in the game more. So let's keep an eye out for him. Okay, so the Bears offense. Let's talk about that. As we all know, Fields, as most of you people are just giddy over the fact that he's starting this week. This is his first NFL start And weirdly enough, it's in the state of Ohio, where he shined at Ohio State. And for the last 2 years of his career at Ohio State, he shined there, and that's where he became. And they went to a playoff game, in college. So he was good, and so maybe that's a good thing that he's back in Ohio, for his first start. I don't know. We'll see. But Fields is going to be seeing a very good defense, very, very good defense. So our line needs to really pull it together and give Fields time to throw the ball and scan the field, because he's not as quick as some yet, And my fear is he's going to get rushed, and he's not going to take the time to scan, and he's just going to take off and run. And we all know he can run. That's an ability he's at. But again, we did not draft him to be a running quarterback. We drafted him to throw the ball downfield, and that we know he can do. So the line has really got to pull it together to give him chances so that he has time to at least get the ball down the field, whether it's to the tight ends or the wide receivers. And the offensive line also has to be on their game to give David Montgomery time to run the ball, because that's huge. We gotta build up those runs, and I want Nagy to call more running plays to Montgomery. Let's see what we can do. Make them stop you, Nagy, because if you can run the ball, that's a solid thing. We need a solid game from Montgomery. David Montgomery, number 32, our running back, but it's really more if Nagy calls his number. But we do need the line to open up holes for him, too. But, Montgomery also, and it's something they did last week, they unfortunately came back, it was a 40-yard pass to Montgomery, but it came back on a penalty. So Montgomery can catch the ball, too, so use him. Use him. If the runs aren't working, then use him for 5 yards down the field, pass to him, it's like a run, and see what he can do. He might be able to take off and get more yards. Same with the tight ends. Nagy has got, if the running game doesn't seem to be working, then use your tight ends. We've got a couple really good tight ends, and you can dunk it off to them, and they can get 5 to 10 yards, and it's like a run, but you're getting first downs. And I'm sure that there's going to be the tight ends and Montgomery probably are going to be the check downs for Fields. So basically, what if you don't know what a check down means, is he's scanning to try to pass the ball, and he has nowhere to go, but he has a tight end, Clement, or running back Montgomery open. He just drops it to them. So they don't run all the way out. They run out about 5 yards, and they stay there just in the case their quarterback needs to drop the ball off to them. So that's what a check down is. So there's going to be somebody assigned to Fields this week. There's no doubt about it because he is so new. And we have the tight ends to catch the ball. They can catch the ball and really go down the field. We need to use them more. We didn't use them enough last week, and they're great for short yards and for long yards. So let's give them a chance to see what they can do this week, okay, Nagy? And Nagy, please, you did pretty good last week. You only called one play behind the line of scrimmage. You can't do that with the Browns. They're too good. They're too fast. You got to stop that stuff. If you're going to do that, you might as well just run the ball or you know what I mean, or check down or something. But behind the line scrimmage plays do not work. And don't do no gimmick plays. None of that shit is going to work. You just got to play solid, no mistake football, okay? That's the only way they're going to win this game. So things that we need to look for in this game to concentrate on. If they get these things done, they have a chance of winning the game. First and foremost, you know how I feel about penalties. They have to have 5 or less. They had 8 last week, and for 70 yards. They did win that game, but those penalties they should have had. Because of the penalties, they could have had another 14, 17 points, but because of those penalties, they were erased because plays were called back. So they got to limit. You're not going to win the game against Cleveland if you have more than 5 penalties. I'm just saying. Time of possession by the offense is very huge in this game. Again, we've been winning that. We won it the first week. We won it the second week. So that's a really good thing because, as I've said many, many times, time of offense keeps their offense off the field, and it keeps your defense off the field so they don't get so worn out like they did Sunday night 2 weeks ago in L.A. against the Rams. The defense was on the field a lot, even though we won time of possession, but they were still on the field a lot because the Rams were scoring quickly. They were just, So the defense, so let's hope that we have some nice long drives for the offense. That will also help Fields because if he can get into a rhythm with nice long sustained drives, that's a good thing because that's only going to make him better. The D has to get some more turnovers. They got those turnovers last week, 4 of them. I don't know if they're going to get 4 of them this week, but it would help if they could get 1 or 2. That will help your offense and get some more points on the board. So it'll help the offense and it'll get the defense off the field. The defense obviously has to stop the Browns from scoring. What I say is limit them to field goals because they're going to score. They've been scoring average 30 points a game, so they're a scoring team. They know how to score. But if you can keep them to field goals, because our defense is a bend, don't break defense. I don't like it, but that's just how it is. But so they give them up big plays, and then we get within their 20-yard line when you're on, Cleveland's 20-yard line, and they're about to score a touchdown, and the Bears usually tighten up. Because it is very hard to run plays when you have 10 yards, 20 yards to score a touchdown. It's much harder because the defenses shore up more because you don't have to run all over the field because you have a smaller space to defend. So if the Bears could keep them to field goals, the defense, we'd have a chance. Because the Bears are 31st at scoring points, so that needs to improve. So if we could keep them, they're scoring to field goals, not touchdowns, maybe we can get the Bears to improve and move up, because that 31st ain't good. 17 points ain't going to win you games in the NFL, especially playing good teams like we've been playing, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what we got to do. Now, if the Bears do all those things and the offensive line holds up, we got a chance. No matter what happens, I want the Bears to be in the game. And we all do. I want them to win. I want the Bears to win every single week, whether I believe it in my heart that they're going to do it or I believe it up here, because I love football and I know football. I'm not an expert, but I know enough because I've been watching it for so long and I'm old. And, but I don't know about this game. So if they make no mistakes, they don't turn over the ball on offense, which I should have mentioned. I didn't, but I just did. Yeah, I know. We have a chance. So I'd like to see it. At least be in the game, Bears, because there's nothing worse than like the Rams game 2 weeks ago when we're getting creamed. No thanks. So let's hope that a couple questionable players are in the game. That would really, really help. Hicks and Goldman a lot. And that our offensive line each week gets better and better and better and stays healthy. That is so important. Then we have a chance. So go Bears. We'll see, right? I think this is a test, a really good test. The first game, whatever. And they came back and rallied last week, but this is a solid team, and this is a good test to see where they are, to find out how consistent they're going to be. I have a couple shout-outs, though, at the end of this I wanted to do. I had a subscriber ask me if I could shout out. So, Julio, thanks for subscribing. Be a new subscriber. Thanks for watching, and keep on watching, and tell all your friends. I'm not going to give you your last name, Julio, because I just don't know your age. I could not figure that out. So I just cannot take that chance of putting somebody's last name out there. So I'm sorry. But, Julio, I did call you out, and thanks for watching. And one other thing I have been meaning to do, and I did not do that, so me bad, but I received a couple weeks ago, my brother and sister-in-law that live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, now, they said, we're sending something to you, and we can't wait for you to see it. It's going to be great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So, it was about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, I wonder what that is. So I was pretty excited, and the box came, and it was pretty cool. There's these 2 wreaths, handmade wreaths. One was the Chicago White Sox, and one is the Chicago Bears, and I'm going to show you the Chicago Bears. My White Sox is out on the front door right now. So this wreath and the White Sox is being made by a young man, Zach, and he lives in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's 14, and during the pandemic, he realized he's crafty and he's talented, because I couldn't do anything like that. I'm not crafty. So he started making wreaths, and I guess he has sold hundreds of them so far. They can be holiday wreaths, they can be sports wreaths, and not only that, he is a big Cubs fan. Sorry to hear that, Zach. But so the Cubs reached out to him, and he's starting to work with the Chicago Cubs on some stuff. So kind of cool. But anyways, so these are handmade. And you know what? If you've got a sports fan, or if the holidays are coming up, and you'd like to have a nice crafty wreath for Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or whatever, Halloween, he does stuff. I saw a scary clown that he did, scared the crap out of me. And his website, you can go through his Facebook. His website is Homemade Kenosha Fortunes. Homemade Kenosha Fortunes, Fortunes. So look that up. You can look it up on Facebook. His name is Zach. And, you might want to reach out and get a wreath. So, again, this is the Chicago Bears. And That'll go up. I might put them up on Sundays and then put the Sox back on, which I wanted to give a shout out to the Chicago White Sox. They became a division champs yesterday. They finally clinched the division. They've been in first place since May 1st. But unfortunately, they don't seem to be playing very well in September. So I hope they haven't lost their enthusiasm. I hope they don't do one and done in the playoffs because that sucked. They did that last year in the playoffs and it sucked. So go White Sox. I know this is a Bear show. That's all I talk about. So, yeah, if you know anybody who might be interested in a reef, check them out. And Zach could help you. And why not, right? And on that note, I'm going to be signing off. And as usual, I always say try to make somebody's day a good day. Smile at them, say hi to them, help them out if they need it, because you don't know what's going on in their lives. And everything that's going on with this world of ours right now is just so unsettled. We need to all stick together. Kindness is a big thing right now. Really, it is. So, let's be kind to each other and just, get along. So that's my request to you all. Nothing wrong with a smile, right? The only thing good about this look, remember, my dad's face is the smile. I have a pretty good smile, and I like to smile at people, even though, remember, my brain is pickled. But I did pretty good. I didn't forget anybody's names this week, so, hey, I'm getting better. It's week 3. I told you, the announcer, the show person, the star here, had to get back on the saddle again, too. So I am. And as always, I appreciate you all watching my show. My subscribers have gone up to 204. Rock on. But I'm not getting as many viewers, which is fine. I've been averaging about 60 to 70 a week, and that's fine. I got, I think, to 100 on Monday, but the thing is, I'm thinking it's because people are going back to work. They're not working from home or whatever. So it has a lot to do with the pandemic. Things have gotten better in some states, not so much here, but so that's okay. The ones that are watching, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I really do. It makes my day. It really, really does. You're helping this silly old lady happy. So, as always, I love you guys. And keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. And go Bears!